Hello, dear Aquarius. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your May 2022 horoscope. And we start the month with Venus entering Aries. So she's leaving her exalted sign of Pisces, and that was in your second house. Hopefully, you saw a little bit of changes, positive changes, attractions, things that allowed you to feel really loved when it came to your values or your personal possessions, the things that were close and near and dear to your heart. And now with Venus making this entry into fiery Aries, where she will really want to share her passions, and she'll be attracting to you opportunities to be able to speak your mind, to be able to share your ideas, to lead the way when it comes to certain endeavors. And this is where this third house will complement you, as it makes a beautiful sextile to your sun, moon, or rising sign. Because what you'll find, if things have felt like they were a little bit on hold or a little lackluster when it came to people really hearing what you had to say or connecting with you, communicating, maybe you have something that you're trying to communicate with others about. Now with Venus here in Aries, she should be attracting plenty of people who see you as that leader that you are, the one who has that innovative ideas that need to be shared and valued. And this can boost you when it comes to your career. It can boost you when it comes just to feeling good on a personal level. You may also find yourself really energized when you make little short travels. Maybe you go from your close town, maybe the place that you're living right now, and you take a little short trip 2 or 3 hours away, right? Maybe to get to the beach or the mountains or something like that. All of these things will be up for you this month. I'm also getting, Aquarius, that a few of you, if you're in any sort of teaching, speaking, mentoring, that kind of role, you're going to find a lot more of that coming your way. Also, if you're in sales, this is a great placement for that. So if you are needing to connect and to communicate with clients or with accounts, that sort of thing, you should have the oomph for it, and you'll find the sales piece can happen a lot easier, especially when Jupiter enters Aries. This is again going to be your third house active on May 10th. You can find this influx of clientele or accounts that come in, a lot of conversations happening, especially if you're somebody who is basing your income on commissions, referrals, things like that. This should all be really energized in the month of May. Now, the caveat to this, there is one little pin on the map. Mercury, our planet of communication and connection and transportation, will go retrograde in the sign of Gemini, its home sign, on the same day that Jupiter enters your third house in Aries. And so your fifth house, where Gemini energizes itself, Mercury will be retrograding there. And this is telling me that you may be revisiting some things around pleasure, fun, even love affairs. Past lovers can come back at this time. Now, the slowdown that can happen, or the miscommunications that often happen with Mercury retrograde here, is that it may be that you are communicating and you're talking and connecting, selling, whatever that might be, in with all that Venusian and Jupiter energy in that third house, but you may be working more than having fun. Maybe the things you're communicating about, people are listening to, but it's got you hopping, and you're so busy that when you are making your sales or when you're doing your pitch or whatever it might be, and people hear you, but they're not necessarily signing on the dotted line, or there's like, okay, let's have more conversation around this. It's not a great time for starting new things, but this Mercury retrograde is great for wrapping up things. So if you do need to close business, stay on it. If you need to make that move, if you're moving homes, right? This is a great time to gather information, get the packers, get the right mortgage rates, things like that. Have those kinds of conversations, especially if this is something from the past that you've been working on. It's fine to complete it during this time. And you'll find that you have the authority and the ability to be able to move things forward. People are listening to you. So if you're going to sign a contract, let's say a new house or a new rental contract or a new business contract, perfectly fine, especially if you've been waiting for things just to fall into place. And it's perfect energy with the Scorpio full moon on May 16th in your 10th house. This is telling me that your public life, your career, your reputation, something comes to a close or culmination, and then you can shine. You can see yourself making these moves, having these conversations. It can be very healing. It can also give you that sense of, you know what, I am an expert in this particular area. People are naturally coming to me for, maybe it is for healing with this being in Scorpio, or they're coming to you for some form of real intimacy and trust that you've established because you've honed your skill, or because you are that steady person that says, I'm not moving. I'm right here. I love you and I'm not going anywhere. And we have the sun entering Gemini on May 21st in your 5th house. This is another wonderful placement, as it is a natural trine to your sun, moon, or rising sign. And 5th house is, like I say, is about sex and fun and pleasure. It is about children as well. So a few of you may be having conversations around, your child's graduating from high school or college and making transitions there, planning for summer vacations, things like that. But a few of you Aquarians will find that if you're in a bonded relationship, that you and your spouse, your partner, will be able to feel more energized and more alive together. And the communication, even though Mercury's retrograde, it should still flow between the two of you. And maybe there's some past topics that you just didn't have time to get to, or you weren't ready to talk about. Now it comes back and you can find a lighter hearted, more fun approach to it. There's a lot of flirty, fun energy here for you, Aquarius, especially those of you who are single, with the sun entering Gemini, and then there's a Gemini new moon at the end of the month, more of that 5th house emphasis. I know Aquarians, some of you may be frustrated, you single ones, that you're like, I'll never find that person, or I'm in this sort of casual on the shelf. We're not really solidified yet. We're just casually dating. You may find that things get lighter and you have more fun with this person. All that flirtation comes back and you start to see that, hey, you know what? We actually are planning a future together. That's that Gemini new moon. You start having those conversations about what that future would look like. And I'm jumping around for a minute because Mars and Venus make a move at the end of the month as well. On the 24th, Mars enters Aries in your 3rd house, and that also makes you very passionate. It can influence your ideas and your thoughts around, hey, you know what? I'm going to fight for this idea. I'm going to fight for the cause or the reason that I want to do certain things. There may be a sibling that needs some assistance or some of that there, but most likely your words are going to be pretty sharp and direct, and to the point you're going to say, this is what I want. This is what I need in order to be the best version of myself, and maybe in this relationship. And Venus entering Taurus on the 28th is a beautiful placement. It's our home sign. This is in your 4th house, letting you look at, okay, I've done all these conversations, I've connected, maybe I made a bunch of sales, or I'm teaching, I've got more clients. And so I'm feeling really safe and secure now within myself and in my personal life, and maybe even my public life here with that full moon in Scorpio earlier in the month. Venus energizing your 4th house. You're like, what is home for me? You may find yourself easily being attracted to all these luxurious items for your home, or maybe you're thinking about a second home. Some of you Aquarians may be making an actual move around this time. It is Memorial Day weekend here in the US. So there's a lot that has to do with home and family. And you can find that as Venus transits through the sign of Taurus, that it really for you is about what is home. You may be missing some of your family, and you start planning those trips to see them. And also, there's an indication here that some of the past, because we're dealing with 4th house, some things from the past around where you really belong, maybe some past issues at work, and you're like, I'm going to make a shift because I don't feel like I belong here anymore. Or could be that there's some things from your family history that you want to, really put a period at the end of the sentence and say, let's wrap that up. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I truly want that healing to come in and that understanding, and I'm ready to start something new. Some of you Aquarians, just as another pin on the map, may be actually looking at expanding your children, your family in that way. Also, I'll just speak to relationship one more time to wrap this one up. For you single Aquarians with Venus in Taurus, when you look at a partner, when you look at putting yourself out there dating, or you look at who you're casually with, you're going to be saying to yourself, most likely, can I see long term? Can I see stability here? Because that's really important for me. And if I can, if I feel like this person can help me feel safe and stable, and that we truly can build a future together, then this is the person that I want to partner with. And you may start having those kinds of conversations, especially as Mars and Jupiter and the sun are all in Gemini in that third house. So you're going to be wanting to communicate as much as possible, to connect, to socialize. It's going to be a very social month for you. Do, just as a pin on the map with the Mercury retrograde, of course, have patience, have a sense of humor, get your vehicles checked out, anything that has to do with the mercurial mindset or influence. Those are always important things to make note of during a Mercury retrograde. But again, this is a great time for you to be able to wrap up a lot of stuff from the past. So if there's topics, if there's projects, anything like that, that you just feel have been left undone, this is a month for you to wrap that up. And like I say, there's most likely going to be people from the past that come back to revisit and to say, do I want to pursue this or don't I? All right, Aquarius, I hope this helps just a little bit, but if you want a personalized reading, come find me at jamiedawn.com, and I look forward to connecting with you. Have such a great month.